To this story now, Absa has reported a 10% increase in profit for its South Africa operations. The bank says earnings were driven by both a more supportive operating environment as well as deliberate steps taken to support the performance. Impairments, which is a measure of bad loans as a percentage of the total book, fell by 8%. The bank also declared a full-year dividend of 14 rands per share. The bank has 10 million active customers and has a presence in 16 countries. For more, I'm joined by Deon Raju. He's the Absa Financial Director. Deon, thank you for joining us on Point and welcome. How would you describe the operating environment, particularly in South Africa, in the reporting period? The stability in the economy seems to have boosted the numbers.
Yeah, good afternoon, Diabo, and good afternoon to your viewers. South Africa was certainly a good operating environment towards the back end of the year, certainly a recovery as we saw it. Our South Africa earnings were up 14% on the back of 7% growth in our transactionally active customers. We did see higher spending levels. As you called out, we saw improved delinquencies. Part of that was the overall South African macro. If you think about it, lower interest rates, lower inflation, withdrawals on two-pot, retirement opportunities also provided liquidity into the system. So all of that helped with spending levels, as we saw in our card and our transactional databases. But equally, we saw improved financial health of our customers.
Yeah.
So very good last quarter of the year in terms of trading.
Deon, loan growth seems to have slowed across most divisions, especially your retail loans. I saw that home loans were flat at 3% from the comparable period. Vehicle and asset loans grew only 4%. Credit cards saw a growth of just 6%, and others fell. I think it was 4% of another loan category that fell. What does this tell us about the credit appetite of your customers, or is it at this point eligibility that is at play?
Yeah, Diabo, the overall markets have been quite subdued. If you look at new car sales, for example, it was down year on year. The whole housing market has been growing very slowly. It's on the back of very high interest rates that have grown over the last 2 years or so. So those markets have been subdued. I would also say partly it is affordability, affordability of customers and ability to borrow during this time. I think the priority for most of our consumers have been paying down the debt they have rather than big demand for new credit.
As a bank, you're expecting the government of national unity as well as the reduction of load shedding to have a long-lasting impact on the economy. However, we see that load shedding seems to be rearing its head again. Does this make you change your view or relook at your view again?
No, we're fairly positive on growth in South Africa this year. Structurally, even though we may get a bout of load shedding here and there, it is a very different situation to what we were facing a year ago. So we are very positive that will be supportive for economic growth in South Africa, together with lower interest rates and inflation, a much better environment. And we expect consumer finances, consumer health to improve as we go through this year. The other element is confidence, Diabo. We've seen strong confidence levels come through from consumers and businesses on the back of the government of national unity. We've also seen much lower borrowing costs and a fairly stable rand as a consequence of confidence. So confidence is a very important thing, and it's a precursor to an improved economic outlook for South Africa.
Yeah. Ourselves, as well as the market, we're all looking forward to tomorrow's budget speech. What are your expectations around that, given that it was postponed from last year and everything that has been said around, what could be tinkered around with to improve revenue? What are your thoughts as Absa?
Yeah, look, it's a tough budget. I have sympathy for our finance minister. GDP growth last year was only 0.6%. As a country, there's big demands on expenditure. There's no easy choices here, Diabo. Look, we trust the finance minister to plot the right path for us. Ultimately, as Absa, protecting the environment for growth is of greatest importance because that provides a sustainably stronger environment for our budget and finances longer term.
Yeah, when we look at, Deon, at the outlook for 2025, what is the one thing that the bank is going to be focusing on to retain the 10 million active customers that you currently have in an environment where competition is becoming so intense?
Yes, ultimately, Diabo, we have to provide a very good experience for our customers. We need to provide value to our customers. So we're making some operational changes to be able to better service and support our client experience. And we're going to be focused very deliberately on that during 2025.
Deon, thank you so much for your time. Deon Raju is the Chief Financial Officer at Absa. They released their results today.